Okay, so we are going to do a parent activity. This is something that I do in some of our parent workshops, and I thought it would be really, really fun to do it on a video so that maybe if you haven't made it out to one of our workshops, you can kind of do this at home. And if you want more tools and tips on how to better learn about your child's learning style, how to connect them better with their educating team, this is what I would start with. Okay, so, and you can always contact us for more activities and or our parent workshops. Okay, so this is one of our little buddies, and typically in a workshop you would get a body with nothing on it. These are the prompts that I'm going to give you, and this is a self-reflecting parent activity so that you can start the process of getting to know your child's learning styles better. And how we do that is to learn about ourselves better as parents. So if you want to just pause the video and grab a pen and a notepad, just make sure that your paper is at least this big. It's a regular size paper, 18 by 11, so that you are going to write on it in a writing utensil. Typically I would have like lots of colors for you if you were in a meeting with me or a presentation, a workshop. So you don't have to have all those colors with you. That's a different activity, but go ahead and get a writing utensil and a paper, and then we will get started. Okay, so on your person, this is going to be you. So you are going to just write parent and circle it just so that you know for later notes that this is you. I do this with many different areas. I do it with my trauma and care participants. I do it with parents. I do it with teachers. I do it with when we're when we're learning about our child's learning. So if you're going to be doing more of those, don't get confused and just make sure that you write parent so that you know which person you were talking about. Okay, so you write parent, and you're going to put self-awareness on the top, because that's what we're doing. We're becoming more self-aware as a parent so we can become better parents and better communicators to our child's education team as well as to our child themselves. Okay, so you are going to flip your body over from where you put parent. You're going to put that face down, and you're going to write in the brain trauma experiences. Any type of trauma that you experienced as a child, as an adolescent, as an adult. Maybe your child choked on something and you really had to step in and do the Heimlich, or it was just really scary. I know children are just really great at putting us in some really serious crisis moments. So anything as a parent, anything as a child, I just write it. This is going to be yours and nobody is going to see it. You're not going to share. You might share some positive things with a partner later, but as a rule, this is just for you and your acknowledgement and your self-aware activity. So please be as honest as you can. It doesn't have to be a paragraph, just be a sentence. You can just write little notes, trigger words for you to know, like, okay, so I have, of course, myself, I have experience, I have a extensive trauma history, and so I'll just write childhood sex abuse on mine, and that just leave it at that. I don't have to write, the whole paragraph or whatever. I had a trauma experience with my child, life-threatening. We had to call ambulance, and that was actually an ongoing occurrence. So that's what I'm gonna write, my child's ambulance experience. So anything like that. Okay, and once you write that, okay, so we're gonna move on, and we're gonna go down to this little spot. It's kind of like where the throat is and the little chest. Okay, you're gonna write, how do people see me? How do you perceive people see you? So if somebody were to say, oh, this is my wife, blah, 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 she's great, she's a great cook or whatever, this is my daughter, blah, blah, blah. How would that person describe you? How would the people in your life best describe you? When I was growing up, I was described as bubbly and always smiling and laughing and gullible and There was just buzzwords that I remember people saying about me. So write what you think people see you as. Right in that spot. What do you hear people saying as about you? Okay. Okay, so we're gonna go to the left arm, and you're gonna write triggers, and you're gonna write positive/negative. And you're gonna write, what are some negative triggers for you? Like it could be a trigger for anything. It could be something your child does that's like, don't do that. That is a trigger, okay? Those things that really bother you, maybe it is something that makes you feel uncomfortable. And maybe it's something that makes you feel irritated, agitated, anxious, right? Whatever that is. It's anxious when my child is jumping off of the kitchen table because I think he's gonna get hurt. Is it the movement of your child that makes you anxious? Is it the lack of control that I feel I have on my child that makes me anxious? Right? Anything. So you're gonna write negative first, negative triggers. For me as a parent, specifically, and these are parent. I don't know if I made that specific. So these are parent triggers. For me as a parent, when my kids were really young, it was a trigger for me that my husband questioned me on everything. And he wasn't always questioning what I was doing, but he was like, why are they crying? Or why are they doing this? And I was like, I don't know. They're just crying. Or hey, go check on them. Why do I have to always know the answer? And that was a huge trigger for me, and I didn't know why it was a trigger, but I later realized that I felt questioned, and I felt it was like I should know what's going on, and it should be fixed, right? Because I'm the mom and I need to know everything and I need to fix everything. And I learned later that was a trigger for me. And so I learned that when somebody like my husband or someone asks me, oh, why are they crying? To be like, I don't know, let's go figure it out together. Taking the pressure off myself to not have to figure out and have all the answers, but then also empowering whoever is asking me, whether it was grandma or husband or whoever, being like, hey, you have the power to help out this child as well. Please help me take the pressure off myself. And that was a huge tool that I used later. So got off on a little tangent right there, but parent triggers that you notice that sets you off. So write those all there. Then you're gonna write a line under it. And now you're gonna put positive triggers. What are some things that your kids do that you're just like, oh, I remember that, I had that with my mommy, or something that they say that's just so cute and it warms you, and it's just like, it makes you realize and remember that you love being a parent. So write that under. Maybe you have somebody in your life that really appreciates your parenting and says you're doing a great job. Maybe that's a really great positive trigger for you. Okay, so we're gonna move down to the leg, and we're gonna put, what parenting experience do you advocate change? So this can be a little confusing and tricky. Okay, so when you were a child and your parent was parenting you, what are some things that you think about that like, oh, well, when I become a parent, I'm not gonna do this because my mom and her dad did that, and I didn't like that experience. What are some changes in parenting styles that you advocate for? So my brother used to always say, I'm not going to punish them. I'm not going to punish them. I'm going to talk to them. I'd rather talk to them and learn. And I don't believe in punishment. And I always thought that was interesting because we lived in the same household and we were parented exactly the same. And I never felt punished. But it's the perception of what we felt like and what we'll talk about this in a little bit, but also what is punishment as defined to you, and how does it make you feel, and where in the lines of punishment, which I'm not going to get into right now. We'll go into it in a little bit. Okay, so think about those things that you really just love your parent, but just don't love a parenting character, style, quirk that they did when you were growing up, and you really want to change it. Okay, write that there. Or maybe they do it, and maybe you can even think about, like, maybe it's something that they do with your child now, and you're like, I really want to change that, or oh, I remember when my parent did that with me, and you know. So keep that in the back of your head. Write that on the leg. Okay. So on the opposite leg, you're going to write gravitational support, and under that, you're going to put, who do you go to? Who is your go-to person when you are frustrated as a parent? When you're frustrated in general in life, who do you gravitate to? Do you gravitate towards your spouse? Do you gravitate towards a parent? Maybe there's someone that you call. Maybe you call your mom and be like, oh my gosh, my child did this. Maybe you gravitate towards a sibling. Maybe you gravitate towards a best friend or a coworker. Who is that person that you call when you are really struggling, challenging, you want to share something frustrating that happened? Okay, for comfort. Write that there. And at any time, of course, you can pause this because I just kind of move on. Okay, so on the back, you're going to flip them over. And on this side, you're going to write on your left arm your skills and talents. What is your, maybe it aligns with your occupation. Maybe you are a really great listener. Maybe you're really talented. Maybe you're a really artsy, crafty person, and you love to do that with your kids. What is your talent? What is your skill level? Maybe you are really good at video games, and that's how you connect with your child. Whatever that is, write that down. Skills and talents. Okay. Now, in the middle of your neck, on this side, you're going to put my triggers. And that is what it irritates you. Not just as a parent, because that's on the other side. What just irritates you to no end? This could be, we're thinking about like negative, irritating triggers, okay? Think about your coworkers. Think about things that happen at work. Maybe it's lack of management in your life, whether it's your job, whether it's your household. Maybe it's something your spouse does. Like, oh, I just wish my spouse would help out more. Like, that's a trigger. Why do I have to be in charge of it, at getting everything done, right? Maybe it is something along the lines of just, maybe it's a self-trigger. Maybe it's never having enough time to get anything done, or any time to yourself. What is something that just absolutely is a trigger for you? You're gonna write that there. For me, for example, it's really negative talk. I get really irritated when people are just complaining. And I'm not talking about like venting. I'm talking about complaining. I'm a problem solver. And so if someone comes to me with a problem, venting or complaining, I'm gonna talk it through. But we have to realize not everybody is saying something for a solution. Sometimes they just want to vent, and sometimes they just want to complain. Not everybody is a problem solver. And so that is really irritating to me. If my husband comes to me with a problem, like one of my kids did something, and I'm looking at him like, well, why don't you just talk to them about it? Well. Complaining is not problem solving, and that just like is a huge trigger for me, and it's an energy drainer for me, and I just have no patience for that. So that's just something maybe will help you figure out what your triggers are. Okay. Also, lack of control probably would be another number one trigger for me, and I think that is like a big trigger for a lot of people, because as we become more self-aware, we realize how much control we desire in our environments and ourselves and everybody around us. So just keep that in mind as well. Okay, so we're moving down, and now we're going to start talking about our movement. How would you describe your movement? Are you an observer? Do you like to watch your children and learn about them, observe their behaviors? Do you like to intervene a lot? Are you, I don't like the word helicopter parent, but are you somebody who has to be in the mix of what they're doing to make sure that they're making good choices? Do you want to be a part of everything they're doing? Do you want to be right beside them, running around, doing from one activity to the other, whether that is activities in your home or activities out of your home? Are you very athletic? Are you moving? Always on the go with them? And these are things that make you, they're your go-to movements, whether they feel comfortable or not. So let's start with that. These are your go-to movements. Where do you find yourself? And on that, after you write your go-to movements and what you see yourself, you're reflecting, watching yourself, if you could watch yourself on a video, in your home and outside your home, moving, write down how you're moving, and then write underneath, I like or I don't like. You're gonna draw a line and you're gonna write it, okay? Okay, so now we're gonna move down to the legs, and on the left leg, we're gonna put the last negative situation that you had as a parent, and just write the last, you have to write a paragraph or a sentence, whatever it is, however you write best, notes, sentences. What is the last really frustrating negative situation that you had? Maybe somebody spilt something and it got everywhere and it was just like, that moment where it just kind of put you at the top. You're gonna write that on the left leg. Okay. Then you're gonna go to the opposite leg, the right leg, and you're gonna write, how did you react? What was your reaction? Okay. You're freaked out, maybe some of the words that you said. Okay. Okay. So that concludes our this parent activity as far as like going through and prompting. Now this is going to be on the website as well, so you can use it. Maybe you want to use it for your spouse and work on becoming better parents together. You can both do your own, because every single person is going to have different things on this. And this can be a really great tool to prompt conversations with your spouse to become better parents. It can prompt you to just kind of sit and reflect. Oh wow, like I've get so many like aha moments where it's like, wow, I didn't really realize that that's what I was trying to do, or that's my perspective. And so this is what we're just writing in the moment, and we learn so much more about us as a parent, how we're reacting. The goal is to stop and think how we react, stop and think about our parenting objectives, so that we can take a break, take the pressure off of ourselves. We don't have to get it all right the first time, and just really start to think about how better to connect with our kiddos. So another activity that I would do as a parent, if I were training a parent or in a workshop, is the child. And we do the child one, and you will do your child's energy profile and describe all of the things. We go into a little bit more in depth observing, but we're not quite there yet. And so if you do want to learn how to better read your child and all the messages that they send you through their movement and their energy, to help them become a better help connect to your child better, to help your child's education team, teacher, understand their learning style better, you're going to want to sign up for a presentation or a parent workshop, because there's only so much I can do on a video without you being present, and everything's so applicable to your specific child and your specific situation and experiences with connecting with your child and your spouse. So definitely contact me on the website or on educatingpathways@gmail.com. You can always send me an email. That's the best way to connect with me, and we'll get you signed up for either a personal session, a training session, or a parent workshop. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. A little reflection, got a little information on yourself, and we'll do a part 2 to kind of know how to use that. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to process, play, and have a great day. Take care.